I'm Anil Kumar, and in this video we will explore equivalent trigonometric ratios within the domain of angle between 0 degrees to 360 degrees. And we'll consider reciprocal of primary trigonometric ratios, that is the secondary trigonometric ratios, which are cosecant theta, secant theta, and cotangent theta, right? As you know, cosecant theta is 1 over sine theta, right? And secant theta is 1 over cos theta, cosine theta. Cotangent is 1 over tan theta, correct? So we'll find equivalent trigonometric ratios for these three secondary trigonometric ratios. Fine. So we'll take few examples. Let me write down some values and then work it out. So for cosecant, which is the reciprocal of sine, I'm taking angle of 200 degrees. Okay. For secant, which is the reciprocal of cosine, I'm taking an angle of let us say 120 degrees. Okay. And for tangent reciprocal, which is cotangent, let us take angle of, let us say, 60 degrees. Cotangent of, let's say 30. I just wrote 30. Fine. So we have these three reciprocal trigonometric ratios for which we are going to find equivalent trigonometric ratios. So how are we going to do it? So as we did in one of our videos, we will figure out two things. First thing is, in which quadrant do they lie, so that we know what sine is for these ratios. And second is, what is the related acute angle? So we want two things. First thing we want to know is the quadrant, right? For each, what is the quadrant number? And second, we want related acute angle beta. So these are the two things. So beta is our related acute angle. Okay, these are the two things which we need to find. Now, how to find the quadrant? As we know that the angle always is in standard position, right? So let me write down this part. Always, when we are considering these cases, the angle theta is in standard position. Most of the time it is mentioned, but if not, that's the default value. Okay. Standard position means initial arm is along positive x-axis, and the angle, when it is positive, it is counterclockwise. 200 is more than 180, so it will land somewhere in the quadrant 3. So that is 200 degrees, right? So let me write down this angle for us is theta equals to 200 degrees, correct? Clearly, we are in quadrant 3, right? So this is quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. So we are in quadrant 3 in this particular case, since the angle is between 180 and 270. Now the other thing which we need to find is the cast rule. Whether the sign is positive or negative. So what do we know? So the cast rule says that all are positive in quadrant 1, sine is positive in quadrant 2, tan in 3, and cosine in 4. Since we are in quadrant 3, we are working on cosecant, right? Now cosecant is reciprocal of sine. Sine is negative, therefore its reciprocal will also be negative. Is that okay? So we know that for cosecant, what is the sine? So we'll write down sine here. Sine is negative for us as far as the cosecant goes. So we expect a negative result, right? Since we are in quadrant 3 and we're talking about cosecant 200 value will be negative. Second thing is, what is the acute angle, reference acute angle? This is the angle which is the angle between the terminal arm and the horizontal x-axis. And in this case, we can see this angle is 200 minus, let me write down, 200 minus 180 degrees, which is 20 degrees, right? So the related angle beta is equals to 20 degrees, right? And therefore, we have three different solutions which will give us equivalent trigonometric ratios, where the angle will be 20 degrees. Where we have three different positions which can give us equivalent trigonometric ratios for cosecant 200, and for each acute angle is 20 degrees, right? We call this as related acute angle, right? So let us write down now the answer. So what we know here is that we need negative result and acute angle of 20. All the time we are writing trigonometric ratios as principal angle. That is important. So cosecant of 20 degrees will be in quadrant 1. It will have a positive value. Since we are looking for negative value, we'll write minus cosecant 20 degrees. Do you understand? Now, in quadrant 2, sign is positive, and therefore cosecant will be positive, right? Again, so we'll write with negative sign, and cosecant of what is that angle? 180 minus 20, right? So 180, let me write 180 degrees minus 20. So we can write this as equals to minus cosecant 160 degrees, okay? So that is the angle in this position. Third position, 200, we have already taken, and the fourth position is 360 minus 20. But in this quadrant, sign is already negative, right? Since it is negative, we don't have to write negative sign. We say it is cosecant 360 minus 20, so we get 340 degrees. I hope you get the idea, right? Likewise, we have to do for rest of the two. So you can actually pause the video, answer your question, right? And then check with my quick solution. Now in this case, let's go to the solution straight. So first, apply cast rule. So we know what is positive and what is negative. Secant 120, reciprocal of cos 120 is in which quadrant? We are in quadrant 2, right? So we are expecting a negative answer. So we need a negative value. Perfect. Now what is, because we know the quadrant is 2. Now what is the related acute angle? Related acute angle will be 180, take away 120, so it is 60 degrees, right? So it is 60 degrees related acute angle. So possible solutions are all these. Do you see that? Everywhere making 60 degrees angle. These are acute angles. And now let's write down our answer. So for secant, it will be, let me use a different ink. So for secant, it will be secant of 60 degrees. But if I write 60 degrees, I get positive, not negative answer. So I have to write minus 60, right? Now if I use this one, I already have secant 120. So that is covered. This one is 180 plus 60. But here, cos is negative. So we already get negative answer. We don't have to write negative here. So we get secant of 180 plus 60, which is 240 degrees, right? And lastly, in quadrant 4, cos is positive. Therefore, secant will be positive. Since we need negative answer, we'll write minus secant 360 minus 60, which is 300 degrees. So that is how you get your answers. Now let's look into the last one, which is cotangent for us. We are actually given the acute angle itself, which is 30 degrees. So we don't have to do that calculation. We know the options. So these are the positions, right? So the first one is here, and we know everything is positive here. So we are expecting, we have acute angle of 30 degrees. Quadrant is 1, so we are expecting a positive value. So cotangent, so we'll write cot of, when we're talking about this 30 degrees, then it is 180 minus what is 30, right? 180 minus 30 is 150 degrees. Since tan is negative here, I have to write negative. Do you get the point? Here tan is positive, so cotangent is also positive. So 180 plus 30 will give us positive value. 180 plus 30 is 210. And last answer will be 360 minus 30 will be 330 cot. But since cot is negative here, we have to put negative. And that is how we get three different equivalent ratios, correct? So that is how we do it. So I've done for the reciprocal functions also in this particular video, and we already have one with the primary trigonometric ratios. I hope with this you fairly well understand how to find equivalent trigonometric ratios for any trigonometric ratio within 0 to 360 degrees. I hope that helps. Thank you and all the best.